Please note the views and opinions expressed by the hosts on this show are not necessarily the views held by the station.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
What is this, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday night. Like it matters, I don't really care anymore. 7 nights a week, one day blends to the next, so they're all the same to me. Anyway, hi everybody, this is your hostess for the evening, Kate of Gaia. This evening, every evening. Yeah, birds are going nuts here tonight, which is good. Yeah, it's always good. And so are the hogs too, the Harleys. I already had a couple go by while the song was going, so at least they had the courtesy to do that while I was muted out. I hate to tell everybody, if you drive a Harley Davidson, you're an idiot. Loud isn't good. Loud is annoying, okay? Sorry, get a muffler. But it sounds so cool. No, it doesn't. It sounds like you're an idiot. Sorry. And I got nothing against bikes. They're great looking bikes. They just need a new exhaust system, that's all. Something a little quieter, you know? Something a little less, I'm in your face because I am revving my engine up. Okay. Is that the same rule that a guy that's driving a really hot sports car, older guy, because that's the only thing you can use to attract the girls because nothing else works? Just saying. That's just me being a catty bitch. There we go. Where are we here? Wow, yeah, lots of callers in. Good stuff, guys. Where are we going to go tonight? Well, I can go on off in a lot of different directions, but, we're just going to go with what goes with, right? So, getting back to the allegories and how critically important it is. It's kind of having one of those trying to recharge days, those days it's kind of, I don't really, and not much was really popping in and out of the brain here. But the focus that I want to maintain until more and more people start to get this is the concept of time and what time actually is, and the fact that it does not exist. It is an illusion. And it's one that we've been trapped in for a while. Again, with these games that we play, physical, whatever reality we play, in order to have a game, it must have the illusion of persisting, so that one step follows another in a logical order. I had a chat just before the show with Andrea down in Chile, and she had mentioned law of attraction, and I'm thinking, well, no, I've heard, quantum physics, all the rest of it, the secret law of attraction, the rest of it. It's not so much the law of attraction as it's the law of creation. You see, because if you're focusing in on the law of attraction, what you're doing is you're actually attracting something that's already created. There's not much originality in that. You'll have people, I wish for abundance. Well, abundance of what? Nightmares? M1 Abrams tanks. It's time to get a little bit more specific in that which we wish to create. Going back to one of Bill Donohue's videos, where he did the name of it eludes me right now, but I think it's Where Vultures Gather. One of the more recent ones he's put out. Recent being that here's a guy that was a decade, 2 decades ahead of his time, showing the information he was showing. He was talking about, and I've seen this demonstrated before, actually, before Bill had already done it, but I'd seen it demonstrated in other ways. They talk about it being the subconscious, right? I don't like calling it that. I just like calling it the void of creation. Because we all have that. We all have that void. It's not, because when you put a label like subconscious on it, you're saying that it's something you cannot access, or that it's something imaginary that's there and it's just got this separated label to it. I just like to refer to it as me. The real me, not the TV set that's got a channel stuck that I end up talking to with most people, right? And I am definitely going to touch on that one today, as I do get weary of that. And this is probably a good way to maybe put your own minds and hearts at ease as well. let's get back to the law of creation. You can't create in the visible realm with your eyes open. That's a fact. Because when you're dealing in the visible light, you're dealing in the past. It's already created. And you're seeing it in the past tense because of the time it takes for this external poison light that you are being blinded by the light. That's the light that's being spoken of allegorically. All light outside of you is pure poison. It is the net effect, not the cause. And we've spent lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime at complete effect to someone else's cause. And to be fair, we really didn't stand a chance coming in with, memories wiped and what have you. In delicate little bodies even that can't defend themselves. So, really, we're coming in an extremely vulnerable state. We're coming from all godness to all, you better take care of me, right? So that's a pretty big Aries to Pisces drop, right? Ram to the feet, right? The soul. So here's a little concept for you, and I've talked about this one already. It's covered in the essays Raining Cats and Dogs, and it's about getting into the present. First, you got to get the concept that all visible light is past. It takes light time to travel from whatever you're looking at to get to you. And as I said, I don't care if it's a nose on your face, it still takes time for that light to get to your eye. Infinitely small, but it still takes time, so it's still past. And you will never see yourself as you are, only as you were. As you were, gentlemen, ladies. Okay? So, if you get that concept, okay, that's step one on the electric road. You get that. Okay? So everything outside is created. It's already been there. It's done. You're just observing a creation. You're not being in cause mode of creation. In order to get into the present, you gotta get dark and get deep. And when I say get dark, I don't mean go into the deepest, darkest place you can find. That's actually the best if you can, especially for sensory deprivation. But it's as simple as closing your eyes. Yeah, you'll get a little light poison, but again, it's a reflected light now from the outside, and it's not as distracting as all the pretty colors and the rainbows and the birds and the butterflies and all the rest of it flying around, and the false flags and everything else that keep us all going ooh and ah every day. So it's as simple as closing your eyes, getting in touch with you, the only being you haven't been in touch with. Me too. I'm finally kind of getting, this is pretty cool. Being me is pretty cool. I don't have to be anything for anyone else. I just get to be me. And that's a neat feeling. So once you get there, right, so step one, realize what time everything in the illusion is in the past. Step two, close your eyes, get in touch with you. And now we can start asking the questions. Because your light becomes the source from within. And that creational void that you are. Remember, we're magno-electric. We are the void of creation with that's the magnetic. With the electrical intention, masculine, getting put out, right? And our intention is our thought going into our own void to push it out. Okay? So when someone says, go fuck yourself, that's what they're really trying to say. It's on a spiritual level, you probably missed that allegory. I told you I like using intense allegories. It gets the point across rather quickly. He said, well, I got a point there. Yeah. I make no bones about it. Okay, so step one, time's an illusion. Step two, eyes closed, get dark. Step three, ask your question. I have eyes to see and ears to hear. I have a voice to ask. And you're asking yourself. Don't be thinking that it's some, other third-party entity. You are the universe. It's a fractal universe, and All the universe is contained in the one, and one is contained in the all. Has to be. That's the mirror. Ponder what it is you're wanting to ask. What guidance are you seeking? This is one of the reasons why I love tarot so much. It's because I've got something physical that I can put intention into. And I did a beautiful spread last night. I actually didn't finish it, reading it till this morning, but it made total sense. And I'm on the right path. Because these are the questions I ask. Because that's based on the responsibility of coming on air every night. I want to make sure that what I'm sharing is, one, resonant, two, it's been well felt intuitively. And it's trusting in oneself. It's trusting in the downloads, right? The downloads are coming from you, no one else, right? So you can talk about channeling all day long, I don't care. Right? If you got to put another name on it, well, that's your issue. It's just you. There is only you. There's only one. So stop looking outside of yourself for the answers that you have and will create. And once you ask your question, whatever it is you're pondering, it's about that time you can open your eyes and start looking around. And start spotting the things that resonate with you very quickly, and the coincidences will blow your mind. It's usually, just to build that trust up, it's usually better to do it in places that you're not familiar with, or somewhere you don't go all the time, and something you haven't noticed, right? I will tell you that sometimes sitting in your own kitchen or your own living room will deliver the answer for you. But I'd really like to get people out experiencing, putting their intent out experiencing. Because the things that you gather around you in your life, you gather them for a reason. There are things that you do in your life that you do for that reason. Because you don't believe, you know inherently within the clues that you need to have to get into a better understanding and get into a state of creation versus that's being at cause versus being at effect, where we get to create things for others because they've figured this out. And I have to tell you, the posts coming in and information coming in from people that are experiencing this, some for a long time, and some just brand new to it, they're getting it. So these are the resonations I seek from myself, aka you listening, to confirm the intuitives, to confirm that we are connected, that we are, sharing the same ideas. That just tells me that we're in line with each other, that we're vibrating at the same levels, that we're the dominant frequency, the dominant clocks in the room. Because only when we get to a point where we are clicking and ticking, or ticking and talking together, will other clocks have no choice but to tick and talk with us. Fundamentally, creation seeks to create, not to destroy itself, right? There has to be, in terms of creation, some form of destruction, which is, I don't like using that word, it's more, transforming, transmuting, in as much as a lump of clay can be destroyed into a beautiful statue. Well, a lump of clay is a lump of clay. It's beautiful in its own right. There might be something more beautiful inside. So you take all the stuff away and that you think needs to be taken away, and there it is. It's a beautiful little statue of whatever, copper, doesn't matter. I remember reading a story when I was a child about a wood carver. And he was asked, how do you do that? I forget the name of the story. It was a short story. At one point of it, he was asked, how did you do that? And he just turned to the individual asking and said, well, it's like this. I have a picture of what is hidden inside this block of wood, and I chip away all the pieces that aren't part of that picture. That's the same thing with ego, right? And by the way, I did have a chance to watch The Broken today. I thought it was a beautiful allegory of the other side of the mirror, a mirror and the ego, right? It was all there. And there's the other thing too. You have your own perspective on things, your own quest, your own path that you're walking, and your own things that will resonate with you. The good news is, we're all, all roads lead to truth. Doesn't matter how you get there. You can bike it, take a submarine for all I care. Fly, walk, pogo stick, whatever. Doesn't matter. Simple fact is, we're all going to the same location. We're all looking for the same things fundamentally. For me, the drive of creation is creation itself. That's the intent. And creation has that ability to create, and there's your chaos, right? But it also has the intent to create. That's why the prodigal son, as I refer to the masculine energy or electricity, had to come out of creation herself. It wasn't a separate part. It became the two in one, because go back to basic physics. You can create electricity with magnets. Just got to spin them. And you can create magnets with electricity. You just got to coil it, spin it around a piece of metal, run a current through it. There you go, magnet, just like that. So it's an infinite cycle of creation, and there lies the allegory again of the snake eating its own ass, right? The Milky Way shows that it's an infinite cycle. One feeds the other constantly. The tail and the head, same thing. Right? So there you go. Where else was I going here? There was something else I wanted to touch on. Lots of great posts today, by the way, guys. And I would really, really love people to jump in tonight. And Farty Davidson, good one. Yeah, they're so annoying. One of the places I pop out for coffee, I end up, a lot of motorbikes go there, and it's just constant. Let me see. I'm thinking, one sec. Someone is trying to get on and they can't, so room for one on the bus. Yeah, I'm going to go down my Skype post here, and there was a lot of really good information has been coming in. Thanks, Stephen, out in BC. Yeah, I know you get it. So know you get it. It's all good. It's all good. Where are we here? Oh yeah, Mercury retrograde, is it? There was someone that was. Let me see. This must be Henriette. You guys keep changing your names. I never know who the hell I'm talking to. Yeah, everyone forgets. I get contacted by a couple of people every day, so it's very hard for me to keep up. Mentioning it back to the water war crimes, that was all the dead judges that kept showing up every time paperwork was sent in. And for me, that was just allegorically stating that evil will destroy itself, and it's a really good indicator as to what the system thinks of those that are worshiping it. They'll even kill you. Yeah, you're that dumb. Okay. Yes, this is Outside the Box Live. Someone has just posted that as well. Alright, just going down the... There we go. And you're in the room. Good to see you. I'm almost afraid to say your name because of Caritzis. I'm hoping that's right. Just give me a thumbs up if I said it right, Caritzis. Yeah, I got a few new people there. And let me just double check here. Just one sec, guys. I need to call. Alright. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, a little scattered today, guys. Just trying to recenter. It's been, well, you guys can tell. It's been pretty heavy on the download front for the last week or two. So it's about, today was more about breathing, Lebensraum, little bit of living room for me, right? So, hope I said that right. If I don't, I'll hear all sorts of shites. Okay. All right. So anybody want to come in and chat? One on the keypad and on your Skype, open up your dial pad and hit one there, or let me know in the Skype room. And I think I've got Deborah now. You there, Deb? Oh.
Hello.
There you are. You don't have to hit.
Hello.
Yeah, I got you. You're in. I've got you in with me. And actually, I'm going to say this for everybody. This is for everybody. If you want into the call, you have to go to the board, because I'm already Skype. I'm already running on Skype, so the phone is busy for me. So if you want in, I can. And I know you haven't been in with me before, so that's why I brought you in. I try to minimize bringing people into the call this way, but if you want in, just don't call me, because I can't answer it. It'll disconnect this call. But I will see that, and there you are. So, hey, Deb, what's on your mind? Did I lose ya? Oh, it looks like we lost her. Okay, having fun. Yes, please, jump in. I do get tired of talking, I got 3 shows tomorrow. So I'm kind of hoping that you guys are going to, chip in tonight and let me conserve a little energy. But, tomorrow I'm on CMR, I believe, from 11 a.m., 1 p.m. my time, 4 to 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And, of course, 7 to 9 Eastern Standard here, same time, same place. And then right after the radio, I will be on with... so... And I got to tell you guys, there's so many of you that are here every night. You have no idea what that says, and how appreciative I am. So I'm just going down Facebook right now. A lot of great posts, guys. And where was it? This one here. Yeah, use cash. Good breakdown on whales and stuff, and I did want to touch on that too. I was going to talk about the TV set, how to smash it up with people. For me, it was always been about the name, and it's why I have issues with labels at all. I don't care if, be it someone's name, family name, or nationality, or religion, or whatever. They're all labels, and they're all separators from the one. Because when you call something one thing, then it excludes it from everything else. Right? That's why I refer to, Gaia. We're one. This is where you become blind to everything, religion, color, nationality, creed, gender, whatever, it doesn't matter. You become blind to it. Well, it's like this, close your eyes, and how racist can you be? You can't be, because you're inside, duh. So, great breakdown, by the way, Cash, that was good. Really enjoyed that. All right, sorry, just checking down. And this is why I wanted to jump in on the Timus thing last night. Timus gland, mysterious Timus gland may hold the key to aging. Well, of course it does. Also, I'm going to do a quick chat on urine therapy right now, and here it is in a nutshell. Okay, 1, it's a philosopher's stone. 2, it's your self-created gold. 3, it's perfect recreation for you. 4, shut up and drink it. Ego needs to justify, why am I doing this? Well, I don't know. If you want to fully awaken, crack open the pineal gland, start healing up the different things, regenerate your Merkaba, your heart, repair things. What was the thing I noticed? There was something, and it was kind of neat. I'd noticed that oh, it'll click with me. But in terms of healing or whatever, rejuvenation, and there was something I noticed. Yeah, there it is. So it was something simple, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Fact is, it's real. That is your golden elixir. So, shut up and drink. You don't need all sorts of other things thrown in there. You don't need things like, well, you have to do this with your body and that with the body and this and that. Okay, well, if you're still thinking that, then you're still not understanding the Philosopher's Stone. It is the all. It is you. You created your own golden elixir. Your pure essence of life. I don't know what else you need. See, that's a tough one. So let's talk about the TV program called The Ego. And it kind of hit me today. How many times can you sit and watch the same episode of Gilligan's Island over and over and over and over again? I think after about 200 or 300 times, you'll probably get bored. Likely before that. But this is exactly what we do every time we get into a confrontational situation with someone, because it's ego, not mano a mano, okay? It's my TV channel versus your TV channel. And here it is too, at the end of an argument, never mind all the bad energy you've just been spewing out. I've done it many times. What is the net result at the end of it? Well, it's part of that, say friendship or relationship or whatever you want to call it, at whatever level, has had a chunk knocked out of it. And you can only do that so many times before the cornerstone finally gets pulled out and your energies are no longer compatible. Now, you talk about siblings and parents and what have you. This is what you're creating, right? And it's very easy to get into drama with somebody if you choose to, and you have to choose to get into the drama. You can either look at it and go, yeah, whatever, or you can, play along and manifest that creation with the TV program that's barking orders at you. And I've used that example before. How many times do you find yourself sitting yelling at a TV for some reason, be it a sports event or a movie or whatever? Yelling at it isn't going to change what just came out of the TV. And that's the same thing with people fully indoctrinated and programmed with ego. The tricky little bastard has them, and it's howling. It's having a great time because it has all sorts of purpose now. It gets all the emotional sustenance it needs. Remember, the ego only exists in the DNA program. Because when the meat stick drops, so does it. So of course it's interested in its own survival. And it wants the best survival it can for the meat stick. Thus the haves and the have-nots. Some people's egos are just bigger and owned, right? Some people are we're all born into different families. We choose our games, right? And those born into, what we would see as an upper, which is actually the lower class. The richer you are, the lower the class you are. Sorry, but anyway. We'll use the normal speak just so we can keep it understandable. You get born into a wealthy family, you've got a different perspective than someone that's, say, born into a ghetto family, right? Middle of Africa, where people have been moved off their normal way of living, and that's why they're that's exactly why people starve, is because they've been westernized, following Western concepts and ideals and forgetting their actual roots when they were attached to nature. Think back to, say, Africa 2,000-3,000 years ago. I don't think they were dealing with the same issues of poisoned waters and malnourishment, whatever. good example was that tribe in northern Australia, the Aboriginal Stone Age tribe that guy went in and totally destroyed by bringing vile, iced things to them. Civilized? Oh yeah, spirit, vile. Well, we know what that is. Iced. We've made our eyes our spiritual eyes have went vile, staring at evil. Yet civilized means something totally opposite as far as we understood. But they were doing fine. Hadn't changed since the Stone Age. Thousands of years ago. They were living in perfect harmony with nature. So quick, let's bring in some boiled rice and some salt and lots of plastic bottles. Let's show them how they really should live and destroy their natural habitat. Get them right out of touch with nature and being in the rhythm of life. Yeah, so much for civilization. But there you go. I'm going to go check the board here. See if anybody's into... Nobody wants to talk to me. Huh. What, it's because I mentioned the word ego and you think I might have a chainsaw handy? Well, I always have one handy, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, have a look around at the different people that you come into contact with. And, depending on what level they're looking at the game. And again, this is not a separation either. This is not a, well, I can see this, so I'm better. No, it's, a lot of times I'd rather, think about it. Wouldn't it be so much easier just to go back to, sorry, can't though. That's the problem. Truth is a catch-22. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so where was I going there? Oh yeah, the people that you come into contact with, and we meet people at all different levels. Some people we can chat with like perfectly on the same level, and others it's like pulling hen's teeth. to try to get some semblance of a. I really don't need all the details of how that went. If we talk about something actually interesting, something that's going to enhance. But all too often people get caught up in the quagmires of day-to-day living. So when you're talking with people that are caught right up in the Whore of Babylon commerce land, the consumerians, you'll find it rather difficult to convey concepts or ideas because they're too busy talking about the latest things in the news, the weather, the relationships, how they were pissed off at their sibling or family member or friend or whatever the case may be, and all manner of drama. You can sit and listen to this TV program going all day. It's a 24-hour channel, by the way. And that's the thing, is I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. It drives me nuts. Totally drives me nuts. Let's all get caught up in the drama and miss our total spiritual exit. That makes sense. Sure, let's play this game over and over and over again. I haven't died enough times in the meat stick to figure it out. That's what you got to look forward to if you don't figure it out. And even that's a joke, because it's no such thing as death, it's just a transition. It's a change of address, change of dimension, change of reality. So, there we go. That's the other thing I love too. Guys on motorbikes like playing their stereo really loud because it has to get over the sound of their exhaust. So you get to hear their music from 3 or 4 miles away. It's great. It's great. Very courteous too. Mind you, I will say some of the tunes are good. See? Good and evil. Haha. Yeah, how many times are you going to watch Gilligan's Island over and over and over and over again until you say, I've had enough, I'm going to change the channel? Because that's exactly what egos are. They just keep running the same circles, the same cycles, the same circuits, the same reruns. How many times do you have to dramatize the same thing over and over? It drives me nuts. Did you not figure it out the first time around? Or the second? Well, it took me a few to get through it. Again, I'm speaking from experience. I have no quims or qualms of saying, yeah, I've had my asshole moments. Absolutely, I have. My total out the window bitch rants. Absolutely. And probably a lot more intense than most people could realize. But I think you got a good idea. And all that coming from a very gentle, shy soul inside. That's how I knew it wasn't me. It was two diametrically opposed. In that regard, it's a lot easier to spot. Sometimes you have to be your own greatest contrast to see the difference. Because the minute you need to defend yourself, you're not defending you. You're letting the ego attack to justify its position. Instead of just sitting neutral across the table with someone, phone, or whatever the case may be, and ask questions back and forth without any preconceived, notions. And you can always tell the ones that are completely ingrained in the program, because they're still bringing up their religious beliefs, they're still bringing up their political ideals, they're still bringing up the current events and news like it's happening literally, which in the illusion it is happening literally. But there is much more to that than meets the typical eye of the common individual. I know, because I'm common. The movie They Live is a beautiful allegory of that. All of this stuff that was hidden out of sight, hidden in plain sight, but out of sight, couldn't be seen until you put on these special glasses. And for those that haven't seen it, it's a bit of a hokey movie. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's campy. I love campy movies. But one of my favorite scenes, and this is so allegorical of what we deal with day to day when we're trying to deal with people that we love and we want to awaken, or have them look at these really cool things that we get excited about. Truth is exciting. There's no question. When you finally click on something, it's like you get a shiny new marble you want to show everybody. But one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the 20-minute fight scene. Where these two guys, all the guy wanted the other guy to do was put on the glasses and look for himself. He didn't even want to put the glasses on, and they kicked the living shit out of each other for 15-20 minutes on screen. It was funny as hell. Until finally, they're both exhausted, and the other guy that wouldn't look through the glasses looked through the glasses. And then he looked to his buddy and said, "Oh my God, you're right." So we do that, right? But that's an allegory of what we deal with the ego, and sometimes we've got to beat the living shit out of it, allegorically, to get people to even start looking. It's one of the reasons why I like coming in with very intense things. The snap you right out of it. Kate's not mincing any words here. She's just putting it right in your face. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time. I'll either shock you into a different perspective or I'll scare you away. Either way, you're ready for what you do. So there's no judgment in it. I'll tell you, there's a lot of sorting out that goes on there too. You'll start sorting out the true swimmers that are trying to reach the shore versus the save me, save your program types. Be it through religion or government, save me, and of course we're going to have that, especially ego. We are time trapped when we don't realize that everything we're looking at is past. It's already created. And someone else has been sitting in the pre-sending everything to us. You can call them false flags, you can call them whatever you want, but they're all still allegories. They're all still ways of again, there's a system going, wake up. What do we have to do? I mean, hell, they had to take down 2 huge buildings, 3 actually, to get people out of the whole illusion of bliss, if you will, right? So I remember right after the Berlin Wall came down, there was a beautiful energy, a beautiful vibe around the planet that finally we're busting the walls down, and then we get comfy. That's the poppy field in Wizard of Oz. You found your straw man, your tin man, and you bitch slapped the cowardly lion in the face, right? Your fear, and you went down the yellow brick road, but you got careless, and you went into the poppy field because the system was going to keep coming at you to keep you asleep. And they end up walking through the poppy field and go back to sleep. And the only thing that could reawaken them again was snow, which was allegorical for the cold, hard truth. And as soon as they snapped out of it that time, the Emerald City was just a hop, skip, and a jump down the yellow brick road. So that's the other thing we always have to be mindful of, going back to sleep. It's very easy to slip back. We've been doing things habitually for lifetimes. These are not easy habits to break. They're not easy things to accept, because what we're talking about typically every night we do this are things that you will not hear anywhere else on this planet. They're like way outside the box concepts. And the joy of it is, we're seeing the results. We're seeing the altered creations. That's some pretty powerful stuff. What was the one I got today? It was one of the ones I got today. It was in a message. It might have been on my front page here. I think it was AJ sent it to me. Regarding taking the moment, being in it, and seeing what appeared. And it was three lorries, or trucks. Lorries are called, or trucks are in Ireland. They're called lorries. My dad was a lorry driver. It's right on my birth certificate too. That's what he did here as well. Let's gotta find this. But what were the names? I remember the one was Belfour, Nolan's Transport, Belfour, and what was the other one? And they all had relevance. Here's the thing. It had relevance to and I know it did, just based on the way it was written, by the individual that shared it. I would love to see what revelations came out of seeing those things. It was like someone that had asked for proof of this, what we've been talking about, the I have eyes to see, ears to hear, I have the voice to ask, and ask and you shall receive. What is it I need to see? The question was, this individual, I believe the question was along the lines of, is this correct? And first observation on a license plate were the two letters YS, yes. And it is that simple. And it takes an incredible amount of trust in yourself again. An incredible amount of trust. And we've had that beaten out of us. We've actually had it removed from us and put into paper form, and they use that trust idea in courts. Right? So, let me see. I've had a few questions today about negative energies and demons and stuff like that. Again, for me, these are all constructs. They're all allegorical constructs. I mean, we are creation, so that only makes sense to me. What is it we need to see? I mean, demons, we all got them. That's the point. It's like people talking about Christ and Antichrist. Obama's the Antichrist. No, Prince William. No. We're all the Antichrist or the Christ. See, there's that looking outside of yourself. I mean, Rome advertises it. They've got the actual symbol up there. It says, we're the Antichrist, the reverse of the rho and the X in the mirror backwards. Well, go ahead, put an X up to a mirror. And you'll see it as it is backwards. You probably didn't notice that it could be backwards. But there it is. They have, rho, they have the letter P. The true letter is a P, but it swings to the left, not the right. So there's another allegory for the Antichrist. So everything about Rome and every religion, everything they taught is what they're doing, is they're directing everybody into that negative energy, and they're collecting it. It's getting sent out allegorically to the masculine, divine masculine, to keep that intention in control. And I've said it many times that we're dealing with a realm that's out of balance. We're dealing with a pendulum that swung too far one way. And what's happening is it's coming back into play. I watched a video from Dr. Keith Strong. I get his updates when he sends them out regarding the sun. And what was the one today? It was about the polar. Here, I better open it up. Because if I don't, I won't get it right. But basically, there's the polarity of the sun has disappeared. It's quadrupolar right now. That's actually happened with the sun. And there's another illusion, right? Went quadrupolar back in May, yeah. It was this year, 2013. Oh, and Cash, nice picture, by the way. The piece of wood made a boat, painted the picture behind. Yeah. Horn of the unicorn. I love it. It's beautiful. I'm just trying to scroll down here. What do you mean WordPress.com isn't? Oh, I was looking to open up my email, that's right. Sorry, guys. I get ahead of myself here, and then it's like, oh, why am I bothering now? There we go, we'll do that. So let me see, what do we got? And that's the other thing too, when I'm in download mode, the eyes are shut, right? So it's very difficult for me to keep tabs on everything and everyone. So bear with me. I was formulating some concepts around an essay about money and what money really is on the spiritual level, and I did contact the gentleman, Sean, that does all the Octagon videos. The Pharaoh show is the show that he does. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. And you know me, I'm pretty blunt. I just basically said I hope the idea that my being transgendered doesn't interfere with seeking of the truth. That's the sad part, you know. That's an ego thing too, right? Still looking at things literally, the ego will control it. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, that would be great if you just hold still. Thanks. Outlook just gone all over the grid here. And of course the computer is just chugging here. It's going a lot better though. I managed to get rid of a lot of browsers and a few other things that were slowing it down, and I'm quite happy. Oh, there's Skype opened up and closed again. Love it. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I'll bring him in. We'll do that. Oh baby, really? I always love when a man says I want in. Of course. Here you go. And let me see. Deborah tagged me back again. Just wait till I get Stoller. Or Iron Man. We'll get him in there. Let's see if we got him. And all right, there you are. How are you doing?
Hello.
There
okay.
you are. How are ya? Good to hear you, man.
I'm fine. Yeah. There's some echo, but I don't have any headset. So.
Okay, it's not too bad. You might want to actually set your Skype to Do Not Disturb so that you're not getting all the beeps in the background.
Yeah, I don't think there will be too many.
Well,
I just sent a picture to Lambertus.
Sorry, what's that?
I just sent a picture to Lambertus in the chat room.
Ah, okay, no worries. Anyway, yeah. What's on your mind, my friend? You've been firing on all cylinders, haven't you?
Yeah, been following you for a while, and no, I just wanted to call in and say hello.
Well, it's great to hear you. You know.
Yeah. So I thought you sounded a bit lonely there today.
Well, you know, and I do have to shake up the tree a little bit on occasion.
Yeah.
I just, you know, this is not. See, here's the thing, guys. This is not all about Kate's show. This is your show. All right. Yeah. Oh, here was the news. Breaking news from Keith Strong, Dr. Keith Strong. The polar magnetic fields are gone. So I thought that was rather interesting. That was from today, actually. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I look at that and go, oh, good, finally, things are starting to balance out, so we're not so polarized. And that was another thing, too, the allegory of the North and the South, right? The Civil War, the U.S. Civil War was all about that. Another allegory. It was a war within. And, of course, it was the North and the South, right? South being feminine, North being masculine. And it's always about the masculine, putting that, you know, boot down, the patriarchal boot, right? And this is not a guy-girl thing. This is an energy thing. The only way we can look at this and be objective is to understand it that way and not get all hell-bent out of joint just because you got a dick or a pussy. It doesn't matter. You're both anyway. Okay? See the allegory. See what it's saying. You know, your puzzle piece, your meat stick, your body is the player in the game. Right? And truth is not to be taken personally. It's just to be taken. So when you start seeing it from an energy perspective, magnetic, electric, masculine, feminine energies, positive, negative, whatever. Negative doesn't mean a bad thing either, by the way. That's a really bad word that they've made the whole divine feminine by calling it negative polarity. Well, that's a negative thought you just had. Well, yeah, I thought it was creative too. You know, but the automatic feeling is when someone says negative, it's a bad thing. So I really wanted to dispel that too. But when you start to look at everything from an energy perspective versus a sex perspective, it's like here, being like me. See, people get caught up in the notion that somehow it has something to do with sex. It has nothing to do with sex. Sex is between the legs. Gender is between the ears. It's in the heart. Which way is your Merkaba spinning? Right? So it's got nothing to do with physical. Nothing. You see, what it is beings like me are at cause over ourselves because we're going, wait a minute, who served this shit up? And you're in complete defiance of the physical reality because it's not real to you. So it really is a gift. It was one that I deemed a curse for most of my life. But what a powerful tool it's become in being able to see things from the different perspectives. It's a slightly different viewpoint than most people have, you know? Don't you think? I'm going to try to bring Deb back in because she tried calling again. So let me see if I can get her this time. There we go. So how are things in your neck of the woods, though, Stole?
It's fine, actually. And I can feel things are being plucked away, you might say. Now it's okay now.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Little by little, eh?
Yeah. And I took some tarot cards this morning.
All right.
It was 5 of cups and
nice.
Queen of swords upside down.
Oh, I don't do the reverse because the card means equal and opposite anyway. So that's something else about my deck. I never, because there are negative cards in the deck, and I say that again. There I go, just knocking the hell out of negative, and then I use it. But so I don't generally reverse means the card upside down. By the way, guys. So just so you know. So go ahead. I'm grabbing my book. You've inspired me, and now I'm going to tell you what happened again with my cards today. So go ahead. What were your cards about?
Well, It's the Rider White.
Oh, the Rider White.
I see the guy standing there. He has knocked down all the cups, or two of them standing still behind him.
Right.
And I don't have any book, but I ordered the Arthurian deck today.
Well, yeah, the Five of Cups is kind of what do you call it? A retrospecting card. It involves well, here from this book, Five of Cups. This is the same emotion, or it's cups are emotions, applies across every deck. It's the same thing. It's just told differently. Another element, see, same card, different stories. Partial loss, loneliness, disappointment, sorrow, heartache. Basically, an unexpected change of plans, unfair treatment from others, frustration, need to acknowledge a loss and focus on what blessings one still has. So it's about seeing the contrast. Does that work? Did I lose you?
Oh, I'm just now I turned off the page where the sound came from.
Oh,
but I heard an echo here, but it's okay now.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so I got a little distracted.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. No worries. I'll tell you what. I'm just we'll set the pace for we just came to the top of the hour here. I'm going to throw a tune on and we'll be right back. Does that work?
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, well let's do that then. As soon as I get my page to open, that would be handy. Maybe I have to sing here. Oh, here we go. And then I'll bring Lambertus in as well, because he wants to come in here too. So let's see. I'm just going to go random here. First one that I see. Oh, look at that, the original. Be right back.
Somewhere like a dream, your world washed over me and took me far away, so very far away. Made sense of all things wrong, gave hope where all was gone. What do I need to say, really need to say? Your eyes are all the words I need, wanting nothing in return. Your love is unconditionally. I have so much to learn. When I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. I'll never let you get so far. Being there is what you do. When my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. There you were, still standing like an angel, holding on to me. Somehow you pulled me through, turned faith back into truth completely, so completely. Held strong when others ran, gave my heart a place to stand, and you saved me, more than saved me. Your eyes are all the words I need, wanting nothing in return. Your love is unconditionally. I have so much to learn. And when I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. I'll never let you get so far. Being there is what you do. And when my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. were still standing like an angel, holding on to me. When I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. I'll never let you get so far. Being there is what you do. When my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. There you were still standing like an angel, holding on to me.
And there we go. And just for good measure, just because...
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. And Lambertus, your mic is hot, my friend. So come on aboard and say hi. Good to have you.
Hi. Thank you. Yeah, I was sitting on the right side of the table and met Stahle. I just met him, and we were talking about Vatican, and we noticed that we both had the same symbol in Skype. That had to do with a knight and steel and a sword. So we just started talking about that before you pulled him in. And one thing I wanted to tell him was I used to be a Roman Catholic monk in a Belgian monastery, and I have been there for some time, and I decided to leave the monastery, and the first thing I did was buy in one of the shops, I bought a statue of a Knights Templar, of a Crusader. I never really studied Crusaders or Templars, but the image of the Knights Templars always touched me deep in my soul. I had something with the symbol, the image of a Knights Templar. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the allegories of swords or Templars.
Yep. Me or Stole? I'll give you my perspective on it.
I want your perspective on it.
Oh, okay. Well, given that the Templars are the military wing of the Vatican, the armed foot guard, whatever you want to call them. There's sorry, nothing good to be said about a military wing of anything, because military wings are only good for one thing: killing. The actual symbol of the Knights Templar is the you got the Maltese cross and the cross and what have you, and when you look at the Knights Templar symbol, what it is a collapsed pyramid. So what you're dealing with there are Pharaoh's army. You're dealing with the armed wing of the pharaohs, or the Phi Rho. Now, when you understand Phi, which is sacred geometry, 1.618, Phi ratio, golden mean, and you put Rho, spirit breath of creation, the intent, the Greek letter, I've said this dozens of times, the Greek letter Rho sounds like Ro. And what it is it comes from the spirit. Remember I was talking yesterday about Gemini, the lungs, and why Gemini is the only sign in the zodiac that is spirit, because that's the ebb and flow of the universe, the breathing in and the breathing out. Right? So when you take the name Phi Rho, what you're dealing with is someone else's creation, the Phi Rhos. And well, look at the symbol for. I go flashed right back to old English history. You know, the War of the Roses, the Rho say, the breath is himself, herself, itself. The Rosicrucians. This is one of the reasons why you have anytime you see Ro, as in right? What's the other one? Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Pi, right? Start busting these things apart into their Greek meanings. So I mean, the Bible was written by Greeks. If you go back to all the ancient Greeks, like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Archimedes, all these wonderful teachers. There's a reason why things are the way they are, because you got the pharaohs that bolt out of Egypt, get their asses run out to Rome and Greece, and then of course they end up in Britain, and then of course they started Switzerland. I believe was Switzerland was founded in 1291, and that was to keep it secreted away. So what you're dealing with the Templar cross is you're dealing with the octagon, right? Because you can join all the points on it. It turns into an octagon. It's not a cross, right? Like the Red Cross, you look at that, you join the points on each side of, you make the cross, the Red Cross symbol, and just join around the outside and make it into a stop sign, and you'll see the octagon, right?
Yeah, I bought a statue with a Knights Templar with a red cross indeed. But the funny thing I noticed, I was in Brugge in Belgium, Brugge, and Brugge is also known to be a very beautiful, old, kind of medieval city.
That's I just want to Brugges, right? Brugges,
Brugge.
Okay. There was a movie about that, so I'm just putting things together. Keep going.
The funny thing about Brugge is they have built a special church, a special chapel for the Holy Blood. They have a small, they say they claim they have a small ample with blood of Jesus, and it's honored there, or so
worship.
It is worship. Yeah, worship. It is a city of the Holy Blood, and there I made a connection. I noticed that way back 10 years ago when I left the monastery, that it's very funny that you see in cities where they have something called like the Holy Blood, you see small tourist shops where they sell articles like these Templars. And I went out of the monastery, and first thing I did was buy the statue of a Knights Templar, not knowing what it means. I don't really have to know what it means, but as a statement for myself that I am a Knights Templar myself. In the monastery I noticed that my opinion is not really recognized, so it was a statement for myself to stand again in my own power, and that's what it means to me.
Okay, again, it's what people take out of it for themselves. Sorry, just saw what Blu-ray wrote. It feels that way some days. Again, allegory, and I can only look at this game from one perspective: the war of the divine feminine, divine masculine, the war of the roses, if you will, and to see how it's out of balance. And when I see different, groups, organizations, whatever, that are very polarized, and most specifically into the masculine intent electrical, to try to overdrive and overpower creation itself, I have issues with that balance, and it's about bringing that back in. And
go ahead.
Okay,
Kate, is the sword, is that for you a masculine symbol?
It can be both. It's a double edge, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
in order to swing a sword, you must have intent. And if you decide to hack somebody's head off with it, you've created a rather nasty effect. So, again, it's the devil you know and the devil you don't, right? It is both. That's why swords are used in symbology, because they have two edges. Go back to the butter knife allegory. It's useful for buttering and very good for buttering your toast and putting jam on it. And it's also not so good by shoving it deep into someone's merkaba. It's a different intent, right? It's the same tool. What is the intent behind it? And one is used. One side of the sword is for creating, the other is for destroying. One side is for intent, one side is for the creation of that intent. You see, here is that beautiful spiral, this snake eating its own ass, the dragon eating its tail. In order to create, there must be intent, but you have to create the intent first. So it's constantly going back and forth, and this is where we have this out of balance. And it's not that one is more than the other. It's about bringing them into balance. I mean, that was, for me, the whole intent of creation was balance. That's what nature's all about. If something's out of whack, nature will fix it. Sort of like today there was some clover in one of the plants, and Eric picked it out, and I'm thinking, well, why would you do that? And clover is used to regenerate soil. It's used to add different nutrients back to the soil. Nature knows exactly what it needs, and it will put what it needs there. It's like I look at the grass over the rail of the deck here, and there's clover everywhere because the soil's starving. So clover comes in to regenerate it. Nature will always provide the answers. Miranda had brought this up as well. If there's anything that you have ailing you, all you need to do is go out into your immediate garden, and it's there. Nature provides everything. That's what creation does. Creation builds upon itself, and creation knows exactly what's needed and where. And what the ego does is it separates us from that, thinking we know better. Oh, I don't need this natural thing that's growing by my house. I'm going to take this poisonous pill because some psycho doctor told me to. And that's the society we're dealing with for the most part. You got an ailment, pop a pill, right? They got pills for everything. And I'll tell you, some of these pills they like pushing, the disclaimers they have, because I remember this back on TV, way back. They'd show this medication or pill or whatever that's supposed to solve high blood pressure. And it's a 30-second commercial. So they say what it does, and for the next 25 seconds they read out the disclaimer of might cause blindness, might cause death, might cause respiratory failure, might cause this, might. And what all they're doing is they're saying if you take this pill and any of these things happen to you, we're not liable. That's all. That's what they're doing. They're making a public liability statement, and they're dressing it up. Okay. They're painting that piece of shit a different color. It's still a piece of shit. And you'll find that that's how marketing works. Pretty crazy stuff. But
I've seen
yeah, go ahead.
I've seen a few examples of that, yes. No.
Go ahead, guys. I'm good here.
Yeah. I'm very curious about Stalin, why he chose to picture himself with a sword in the hand.
Oh, actually, I can answer that one. I think it's beautiful. Well, it's been showing up, and I'm kind of hoping that Ninja's going to jump in here, because I was talking yesterday about the last 3 days of the card I pulled up, the one I kept pulling up every day. And again this morning, I shuffled the deck, split. I actually cut the deck into three. I took a 3-card split. What was the first card that I turned over? Wayland, again, that's a fourth day in a row, which is the smithy of the underworld. And there, Okay, Ninja, you can come in here. You can explain this better than I can, Ninja, because you're the one that really resonated on this and epiphanized on it. But that one came up again. It's a very powerful card, by the way. Let me get to it. And like I said, it just keeps showing up. So when I see this happening, there's something very specific about it. Where is it? Just got to get back to it here. Eight of Shields. All right, here we go. What the card means. I'll give you the meaning. I'll read Waylon, then I'm going to get Ninja to jump in here. What the Eight of Shields, or for other decks, Rider-Waite, that would be the Eight of Coins, is employment, commissions, craftsmanship, the positive, productive use of one's skills, focusing one's energy on work, employment that brings self-satisfaction, intense labor, a creative endeavor, learning a new skill or trade, having a modest attitude toward accomplishments, enjoying work and the rewards it brings. Now, here is who Wayland is. I read this, I think, last night or the night before, but here it is again. Deep within the earth, Wayland practices his craft. The Saxon smith Wayland is the Norse smith Volander, who became incorporated into the mythology of Britain. Wayland was the master craftsman to the gods, whose weapons were so fine that they sang in the air. Excalibur is sometimes said to have been forged by Wayland. The coveted work of this god of smiths led King Nidud to abduct him. Nidud hamstrung the smith to prevent his escape and then forced his lame prisoner to work. The art of the smith and magician were thought to be closely related, and it was by magic that the smith eventually escaped the clutches of Nidud, after which he sought a terrible revenge upon the king's family. Over time, Wayland has come to be associated with many of Britain's ancient sites, and appears in Geoffrey of Monmouth's The Life of Merlin. The spirit of Wayland is said to haunt a Neolithic burial chamber known as Wayland's Smithy in Oxfordshire. Tradition maintains that if one were to leave a horse and a coin at the chamber overnight, on returning in the morning one would find the coin gone and the horse shod. Now, Wayland has also been tied in with Taliesin, the Hierophant, and Merlin, as all being, and of course, Cernunnos. Cernunnos is the god of nature, right? And there's that same allegory that we have with Jesus Christ, with Muhammad, with Hare Krishna, Zoroaster, Ahura Mazda, and Buddha. All these are the same story, different names for the character. So, Ninja, jump in here, baby.
Yeah, hi Kate, hi Stroller, hi Lambertus. You read that card out to me a couple of days ago, maybe 3 days, I don't remember when it was now. The description of the smith, the forging of metal in the steel, and I the whole time you were reading that card, the one person who was in my mind was Stoller. Because I could see him, and I could see the fact that his profile picture is holding a sword. His name means steel. We joked about it being stainless steel and that kind of thing. Yeah, Stoller. And I was just thinking that this is him. This is the person that's in your group, your circle, around you. The energy of this person. Very strong masculine energy with the blacksmith kind of connotations, the metal connotations. And where is he from? He's from Norway. He's from Scandinavia. This is the basis of this character in the card.
Yep, and there's one other individual that I did a spread for a while back that this card factored heavily for them, and it was Ron as well. Ron's in the room too. So I also correlate these powerful masculine energies coming in, right? So for me, we bring in the balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine in their purest forms, and that's one of the things I see most in our little Skype room. And you can see these energies. Not only see them, you can feel them. When I can go down the list where people are really in tune with what their Merkaba is all about. You can tell the ones that are spinning counterclockwise and clockwise. Counterclockwise is the masculine, clockwise is the feminine. And you can, these are the energies, right? Creation takes upon itself the duality, and the energies contained in each part of the individual to create. It's that you can't have one without the other. So it only makes sense allegorically that both energies are personified and given form. And then there's entities like me that show up that go, wait a minute, I need to illustrate this, right? So, the 2 for 1 creating the third, right? But yeah, absolutely. That when you said that, Ninja, that resonated with me as well.
Yeah, I mean, what you have with Stoller is a perfect example of the balanced male, that's in touch with his feminine, who is creative, who is caring, and all those things, but is a powerful masculine, energy too, that has that perfectly, under control on both sides. Yeah,
the pendulum's in the center, not swinging one way or the other.
Yeah. It's a rare thing in this world to have that. It's not a rare thing around us in this grouping. It's not actually rare, but it's a rare thing in the world. So it's a joy to be around that.
Well, I tell you, the ones that are singular in their, if they're caught in one side or the other, and I know a lot of guys that are, too far in the feminine, and women that are too far in the masculine, right? Where they're not centered. You can always spot that too, and it's not a bad thing. It's being able to spot that in you. Is your feminine overruling your masculine, or is your masculine overruling your feminine? The game here is to bring them into perfect balance, where we're not having cats and dogs fighting anymore. We're actually having them, the lamb lying down with the lion, sort of thing, if you will. Excuse me. So it's...
Oh, Kate, you just said the lamb lying down with the lion? Okay, so who's on your call right now?
I know, I caught it.
You've got Lambertus, and you've got Stoller, who is a Leo.
There you go.
Together, connected this evening on Skype, the lamb and the lion. Oh, yeah, right. Take no notice, though. It's not important.
No, you weren't supposed to notice that coincidence. Put Toto back in the cage, will you? Keeps pulling the curtain back. And just to add on to what... it was the Queen of Swords you pulled up as well, Stola?
Yes. Cool.
All right, well, I'll give you the Queen of Swords as it comes out of the Arthurian. All right, here we go. It's Morgause, Queen of Swords. The meaning of the card is a very clever woman with an uncanny perception. She is discreet yet ambitious and more than capable of winning success. Intelligent and versatile, she often outwits those who oppose her. A woman who firmly believes knowledge is power. Despite her capabilities, she can represent a woman embittered by the past. The Queen of Swords can indicate separation, widowhood, or financial instability. Now, Morgause was the daughter of Igraine and her first husband, Gorlois, the Duke of Cornwall. And by her birth, Morgause was full sister to Morgan, half-sister to Arthur. Much like Morgan, Morgause was a law unto herself. Her independent ways and habit of taking lovers led her to be given the same unseemly reputation as her liberated sister. Morgause wed the rebel King Lot of Orkney. She bore 5 sons, Gawain, Gaheris, Agravain, Gareth, and Mordred, all of whom joined Arthur at his court. Though it is absent in earlier versions, the story developed to include an incestuous relationship between Morgause and Arthur, who was said to be unaware of their blood ties at the time. Their alleged union begat Mordred, and so ultimately the sin became the convenient reason for the fall of Arthur. After her husband's death, Morgause spent much of her time ruling her lands and raising her sons, and it was said that Arthur dreaded her visits as they sowed discord amongst the knights who competed for the beauty's attention. While on one of her occasional visits to the court, Morgause took Lamorak, the young son of Pellinore, to be her lover. Pellinore, by some accounts, was the man who had killed King Lot in Arthur's early battle with the rebel kings. In light of this, Lot's sons saw their mother's behavior as a disgrace to their father's memory. Thinking that his mother had betrayed her clan, Gaia slew both lovers as they lay on their bed. So there you go. That's Morgause. And for me, Morgause represents the divine feminine out of whack with too much masculine. Right? Too much lusting for control, too much intention, right? So good balance is required at all points. Now, the other card I pulled up today, alongside Wayland, there was two others. There was the Hare, which is the Page of Spears, and Bedivere. What is Bedivere? Knights. He's a Knight of Swords. One sec. No, it's Gawain. Knight of Shields, perhaps? That's Boars. Knight of Cups. I know he's one of the knights. Oh, it's Galahad. So it must be Spears. That's right, it is Spears, because they were side by each. Anyway, so this alongside Wayland is what I pulled up today. Now, the Page of Spears, the Hare, and you hear me talk about rabbits all the time, and of course the rabbit or the hare factors in heavily with Gemini between Canis Major and Canis Minor, right? That is the rabbit going between the dogs, left brain, right brain, okay? Meaning of the card is this: stimulating communications, the arrival of good things, intellectual development, interaction with society, a trustworthy, enthusiastic assistant, a playful, good-humored friend, an excitable, positive supporter who leads cheers of approval, and one who is sincerely pleased to bring news of good fortune. And the hare says this symbolically: the hare is a totem transformational animal. While it retains some of the attributes of the trickster, such as the playful comedic nature, it is advanced beyond the selfish manner of the primitive trickster phase. The hare represents a stage of intellectual development in which the child becomes conscious of the repercussions of its actions upon the outside world. The hare is a social creature, symbolizing an awakening cultural sense and enjoyable interaction with the community. And Bedivere was the best, basically the best friend of Arthur. I should mention that the spread I did last night factored heavily around Igraine, or Igraine, and she's the mother of Arthur. So it started with the pursuit of Igraine and ended with Igraine herself as the final outcome. So it was a very interesting read. I went through it, and it made total sense to me what the spread was about. So still a bit to sort out mentally, but I think I've been dealing with a lot of overload, mental overload, the last couple of weeks. So today's one of those days. But there you go. Interesting times. I've never had it happen where the same card has come up. I've had a card come up 3 days in a row, but never 4. So this was the first. And the irony of it was I wasn't even thinking about what cards. It didn't even cross my mind because I didn't care to think about it. And there it was, first card I flipped over, Wayland. Cool, huh? What does it mean, Kate? What does it mean? I don't know. I'm still sorting it out. Oh, don't everybody jump in at the same time here.
So, Kate.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, which Chinese year was I born in?
You were born the rabbit.
Yeah, year of the rabbit, stroke cat. It's both, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What are you doing hanging out with a dragon? My youngest is a rabbit, by the way, Hillary. Got a Virgo rabbit and a Leo rat. Powerful combos. That's just a coincidence, though, right?
Yeah, one of many.
Yeah. What? Lambertus and Stola got very quiet there. I thought we were having a conversation here.
Yeah, we were. Stala and I were having a conversation under the table.
Ah.
Under the table?
No, just joking. Well, when I can you still hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. When I entered the conversation, I decided to pick a card myself, and the moon turned up, and that's quite a nice card for me. Has to do with descending into the underworlds and traveling through the unconscious deeps.
Creative void. It's
creative void.
It's the divine feminine. It's the moon card is 18 in the major arcana, which is consciousness, right? So you're dealing purely with consciousness. In the deck that I've got, it's Morgan Le Fay, which brings to light a lot of those deeper emotional undercurrents and the real creative essence. And it's again, I said subconscious earlier, but instead of saying subconscious, I prefer to say the void, your void of creation, where you create within, right? So yeah, it's a very cool card.
And surrendering to your intuition as well.
Yeah, the feminine, the right mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all get too caught up in the West, the left, and while it's a handy tool in the physical, it's also a trickster in that it keeps everything physical. Because the ego or the Cain left mind cannot discern spirituality. That's what the right mind is for. That's where our challenge really lies, and where we need to take the time, really take the time with ourselves to have a look for it. Yeah, go ahead.
And that was my biggest problem in the monastery, because there are a lot of books written about meditation, about spirituality, and it has nothing to do with nor meditation nor spirituality.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, and I've said it many times regarding seminaries or Bible college or any of this stuff. Regardless of what religion, what institution is involved, even talking Buddhist monks. I mean, what you're dealing with there is handed down information, and the telephone, the game of telephone where you sit around in a circle and you pass a message along, and it better be the same at the end as when it started. What happened is someone along the way changed the message, and that's exactly what Rome did. They took the most perfect truths and made them all literal and got us all staring at it.
And that's why another thing that I noticed, because I used to be a Carmelite. That's a Roman Catholic order in the Roman Catholic Church. There was a reform in 1600, in the 16th century, and there was a big revival of the spirit and the consciousness of that spirituality. And what happened was that Rome got an eye on that movement, and what they did, they sent a bankster from Italy to become head of the order. So it was an order again, with rules and regulations, and the charisma, the spirit of the order was killed again. And that's the way that the church kills the spirit.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I abhor any form of organized spirituality. Spirituality simply is. It is self-contained within the individual. And the minute you put... See, this is standard operating procedure for the system. That's why they're having such a difficult time now, trying to control it, because we are not masses being led, we are masses being leaders. And the first rule of any takedown of any organization is find the leaders of the organization, convert them, or destroy them.
Yeah, sure.
And, you know, when you're dealing with millions of leaders versus, you know, a handful leading this, you know, order, group, band, whatever the case may be, and you've seen it throughout history. I mean, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, anybody that dared, you know, be seen as a leader, the first thing they do is they scope on who it is, but and then they take them out or infiltrate. This is why we do not, people can infiltrate all they want. All they're going to get is truth, and that's great. And I don't care. I don't play in that physical illusion game. See, this is, and guys, this is the magic of truth. You become spiritually untouchable, and you really start to see what's going on. And there's so much peace that comes with it. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, ripping things apart. You see, and this is one of the things that I discovered with how fast my entire world got destroyed. Like, and I'm talking almost overnight. People say, you know, you've only been doing this truth thing for, you know, in the movement per se, Freeman, when I first caught wind of what was going on, for like 3.5 years, not even 3 years. And they stole my house 1.5 years ago. So that gives you an idea of the compression, how fast things happened, how fast they jumped on me, and how fast I was standing in truth, how strong I was standing in truth, because at that point, all along the way, universe, this is the catch-22. If you choose spirituality, be prepared for change. You're not going to be ready for anything except that which you're ready for once you do. Universe won't give you anything you can't handle. It will push you to the limit. You'll either get made by it or broken by it. And that is the free will choice. But once you stand there, this is how you can prove to yourself that you are standing in truth. Because the physical illusions, everything that is possessing you, that is connected to you, attached to you, starts getting ripped away. I'm talking family, friends, and I know you've all experienced it to one level or another. That's how you know. Because the minute you stand in spiritual truth, you're defying the physical illusion, and the physical illusion starts to crumble. Those are the walls of Jericho that are crumbling around you. Because your 7 trumpets, your chakras, are clicking. Right? Your 7 seals are open. That's the 7 seals in Revelation. Right? You decided to put on your own crown instead of wearing the false ones called the Crown Corporation. It's called that for a reason, guys. Right? The dead crown. You are the living crown. The Crown Corporation is the dead crown. That's why everyone that is part of that in the registration or registering system is a zombie. You were walking dead. You're wearing the dead crown. And the only way you can get rid of that dead crown is to scrape off all the Whore of Babylon nonsense. And you'd be amazed, beyond amazed, at how things change, how quickly they change, and how quickly even more truths come flying at you. Because only when you're ready to accept the responsibility of as you are now, and standing in the truths you're in now, will you be ready to accept more. Because I'm trying to figure out, yeah, I've done songs, and so I understand how to hear whispers of the wind, if you want to call it that, or whatever. But the sheer quantity and profoundness of the stuff that's been coming at me over the last month and a half it's mind-boggling. And once you start peeling away all this garbage, all this crap from the physical illusion, you're scraping your random access memory clean, which allows better operation of your computer and getting new information, because the stuff that you've already looked at, what you're doing is you're filing it into the ROM, or your Roma, right? Okay, and but it's there for access. because you have direct connect then. And that's the computer allegory of you. Did I mention anything yesterday about the hollow earth, or was that a today thing that I was looking at?
I didn't hear anything about a hollow earth.
Okay, so that was something I was looking at today. We're looking at hollow heart. A little extragram action on the earth, and of course the sonics on hollow, right? Just like why I don't want anyone to follow anything, right? This is where you have to be you. We stand, shoulder to shoulder, and we click at the same level at the same table. Call it King Arthur's court. I don't care what you want to call it, but that's how everyone. It's a round table. Everyone sits around it. There is no one that sits at the head of this table. Right? It's a big, universally round table. So, look at the allegory of the hollow earth. They talk about Agartha, the inner world. Tolkien talked of Middle Earth. Well, we're in Middle Earth, right here on the surface. It's not some tunnel underground. It's not. Here's the allegory. You have your sun within you. You are the sun to me, okay? You have the blazing sun of consciousness within you as represented this way. Look at it in the earth. There is a central sun inside of Earth. She's a living organism, a living being. So inasmuch as we have the sun within us, the Earth is the larger fractal with the sun within her, as the solar system is the larger fractal with the sun in the sky as that consciousness. So this is why I've long felt this. The consciousness of the sun that is in our sky as we perceive it, and why they worship it is because they're worshiping the consciousness of the creation of this particular realm, or this solar system. It's the consciousness of this solar system, inasmuch as Alcyon is the central consciousness of this galaxy, and so forth and so forth. As we get bigger and smaller, central sun of an atom is the proton. Actually, it's the neutron, the neutral, right? And I find it also a little interesting that the electron is considered the feminine when it's actually called an electron. Why would it be called electrical if it's masculine? Or electrical is masculine, why would it be considered feminine, right? So there's a few things that I'm still kind of pondering on that, and as that information sorts itself out, the universe will show me. I always ask, and it always does. I'll share that with you guys. But just a couple more ideas to throw out there. So get fractal and start seeing things as above, so below, as within, so without. So when I saw this little video on Hollow Earth, I'm looking at all these beautiful allegories. And of course there's an opening at the North Pole and an opening at the South Pole. We've seen the energetics. What is the South Pole, divine feminine? What is the North Pole, divine masculine? What are we, we are predominantly a northern hemisphere focused planet. The Big Dipper, and of course Polaris is in the northern sky. Polaris, polarized. Polar Isis, to polarize the divine feminine. Okay? So, these fractals are, again, allegories. And when I was talking to Andrea as well, she was discussing a couple of things with regards to Santos and the things that he had been uncovering regarding Jupiter and leaving the age of Pisces, the age of Jupiter, and of course Uranus now taking over in the age of Aquarius. Listen to the phonics of "you're in us" or "you're an us." Of course, that's why it's heaven. And they're just trying to wake you. We're trying to wake ourselves up here. I found it interesting in that one video that I watched, I think it's 15 minutes long, regarding the Hollow Earth, and there was a still shot showing the bottom of the ocean, and lo and behold, if it wasn't a face, and the face had a crown on it, by the way, sleeping, masculine in the northern hemisphere. So what we're dealing with is awakening both of those energies within ourselves. And the truth is, depending on where people are at whatever level, not everyone's going to make the grade. Not everyone has to. Not everyone should, and not everyone will. Doesn't matter. People are going to do, from their perspective, exactly what they're needing to do in order to evolve spiritually. There's a lot of people out there that just, and you know this, I know this, you know this, that just aren't ready for the stuff that we can share. They haven't even got a concept that there's something corrupt in the government. They haven't got a concept that their name isn't them. And woe betide you if you try to share that with them. And that goes back to the throwing ice water on someone that's trying to sleep. They're not going to like you too much, so stop throwing the ice water. Right?
Yeah, I have a friend with whom I share some nice times every Friday, and I try to share some things with him. And he's open-minded, but not everything is okay to him. I told him about the name, and he got angry. So no,
you showed him what?
I told him about the name.
Oh yeah.
I asked him the question: what if you can't use your name anymore? And now that was indiscussable. His parents gave him his name. It's his name, and that's funny.
Well, you just proved to me exactly the theory and thesis I based it all on. It had to be something that people would fight for to the death. It had to be something they took from cradle to grave, and there it is. And it's a pure ego program, Doesn't matter that his mom and dad gave it away to the crown. No, that's got nothing to do with it. I gotta find the link for this video this guy did, Servant King. It's a beautiful entry level for people. Galen, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I need you to watch your microphone because you're making lots of noise. And yeah,
How do you mute it?
Oh, on your Skype, just put your mouse up over the Skype page, and you'll see a little bar pop up with the microphone. All you do is click on the microphone and it'll mute it out. But don't do that if you're going to talk. How are you doing?
Well, I just found it, so I'm going to mute it.
Oh, okay. Well, how are you doing? You did.
Get the sound correct. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
I finally got in, huh?
Finally got in. So.
Well, I haven't got to listen tonight, so I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, hang out. We got about 8 minutes to roll over into the recording, so I might as well get my love business done here, and that's exactly what it is. Great big thanks to criticalmassradio.co.uk, Paul Giovanni, Lisa and the crew at Critical Mass, making it possible for us to have this this platform every single night and to make good use of it 7 nights a week. That's the other thing, I could only do this once or twice a week if I wanted to, but when 7 nights a week are available and paid for, I don't want to waste a single drop. So and anything you guys can do, I mentioned last night for Critical Mass, typically, and it's not a whole lot when you think of the thousands of people that tune in, not only to this show but to all the other hosts as well, £300 a month. That's like 300 people out of probably 25, 30,000 people tossing in the quid, right? Or if you want to take care of an entire year's worth of that, toss in 12 quid, and 299 more of you do the same, and it's covered for the year, just like that. 12 quid, pretty cheap. Anyway, there you go. So there's my tuppence to toss in and flow the intentions that keeps us on the air. So there you go. Mini rant over.
Would like to speak a little about Sweden.
About which?
About Sweden, where I live now.
I'm still not following.
About Sweden, the country Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. Yeah, sorry. Your mic is kind of mutey, and it sounds like you're talking out of a can. So, just letting you know. Yeah, okay. Share.
No, I won't say too much then. Because I was thinking about buying a headset before I called in, but I haven't done it.
It'll definitely make things better.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 9 or 10 million people here, and they're all celebrating the 3 crowns in the Swedish flag.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it's about ice hockey and gold and football and partying.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. And I was in Karlstad the other day photographing a little, and in the court building there, or on the court building, there's 2 eagles sitting on top there with their wings down.
Yeah, the Roman eagle.
Yeah.
It's all about the pharaohs, baby.
And, and you have the Maltese cross, because the Freemasons have a lodge on the left side of the building.
Yeah, they're Templars.
Yeah. And on the other side of the building, there's a bar, temple bar.
Yep, gotta pull all the crowns in here. Keep going.
Yeah, and they have a happy hour that's from, let's see, 1847. It says on the window, big numbers on the window, 1847, which equals 9/11. So it's right in your face.
Constantly.
Yeah, and you have the what's it called? The Undertaker Agency. It's in number 22, little down the street.
Master numbers.
Yeah, and then there's the Temple Riders. It says that's right across the Catholic Church. And I took some photographs, and it's so obvious. But people don't see it. They have it right in the face.
Oh, it's everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere you look.
Yeah.
It is in the geometry of everything you look at. That's what the physical universe is all about. That's what the 5 rows were all about, creating the geometry. And there's where thought came into play, planting that sacred geometric seed. So no surprises there. Beautiful construct, beautiful illusion. But we can see through it now, right? Because it is a construct built in creation, of creation, by creation, but it is not creation itself. It is a mimic of what creation does. It's a mirror of the spiritual. That's why a lot of times, dealing, it's with a lot of people, with me, it's very difficult to share the spiritual things. People do click on it, don't get me wrong, you guys do. But it is not an easy concept to get across, because it is pure intuitive. There's nothing analytical about it, it's just a feeling. It's beyond a feeling. It's getting this notion, and then once you have that feeling, then you look at it with the analytical. Right, and it's not to prove anything or disprove. It's to balance it out so that I can actually speak about it. That's the handy thing of the left mind, the ego. It's a handy tool, and you'd be hard pressed to. Well, look what happens when people get lobotomized. Right, they're cutting that cord between the left and right hemispheres. I mean, that's how bad our brains have been divided, to the point where it's down to a couple of little, joints holding it together, instead of it being a whole brain working in unison. Right? That's the true divide and conquer. And that here's an intuitive just came in again. That for me is another part of the genetic interference of the divide and conquer where not only did it build the reptilian brainstem and, of course, the adrenal glands to keep the fear thing going on, but also thanks, asshole, to literally divide and conquer the brain by separating it, you know? So I don't know, you guys hear that okay over that wanker that was on a motorbike?
I heard the Harley there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Listen to me, province. No thanks. It's alright. That's just, for me, that's just rude. You know, anyway.
South Park made an episode about men on Harleys.
Oh, yeah?
Called,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's about the word fag. Yeah, I think you enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, I do enjoy parodies. Parodies are my favorite. And that's exactly what thank you for reminding me. I'm going to be writing some parody songs. I can write pretty good parodies. Yeah, isn't that fun to listen to, guys? 60 seconds. It's like panic. We're got about a minute left before we roll into the recording. So if you want to continue listening, Skype in or call in. Area code 661-467-2401 for landline, and of course refresh page real quick and hit your Skype to Skype into the board. Easy peasy, just like that. Other than that, grab the archive. And yeah, I should mention 3 shows tomorrow. I already listed at the beginning. I'm with Lisa on Critical Mass from 11 to 1 p.m. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 to 9 normal time here, and right afterwards with Johnny on Q. So there you go. That's my day tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get an early night tonight. I'll probably sound pretty raspy by the time I get to Johnny, so we'll see. Okay, we're in the rollover, guys, so carry on. Anything else you want to toss in here? I'm just looking for resonance. Something that you guys are going to trigger with me.
I listened to your show from last night, this morning, and you were speaking about dragonflies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wrote it in the Love and Stuff room. But it was lots of them on the other place where I moved from, or where I moved from.
Yeah, you were saying there were hundreds of them or something.
Yeah, in the air at the same time. I've never seen that many. But
wow.
I was lying there in the sunshine. It was a lot of, not that many mosquitoes, but stinging flies that sting. And you could hear them flapping over me, and you heard little clicks when they took the flies.
Oh, yeah.
So they were, I really liked them. I know they are monogamous.
Yeah, you were telling me they're eye stingers is the translation in Swedish?
That's in Norwegian.
Or Norwegian?
In Swedish, it's trolls, like the trolls, trollslända.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they are. I really like them, and I had lots of synchronicities with them the later years, and then suddenly you talk about them. So
imagine that, eh?
Yeah, I know I'm on the right track.
Well, and that's really what it comes down to is when you begin trusting yourself, things will start appearing that are very, very relevant to you, and those will be the things that will keep you on track. And they're the things that, you know, we all have our little things that catch our intuitive attention. Not the analytical, it's intuitive. When you, oh yeah, okay, things that have a resonance already with you. And there's your yellow brick road, so follow the things that resonate with you. Right? You know.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Kate.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Galen.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not able to see things yet, like you're talking about, except for when I'm on the internet.
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
YouTube or whatever. And today I was watching this, I was watching some fear porn, I guess. I was watching a video, and there was Rihanna dancing, and she had the Eye of Horus on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I recognize things like that, but I can't see things out in the physical world yet.
Well, that's a beautiful one. I mean, the Eye of Horus is the cross-section of the brain, and that is the physical allegory illusion telling you. You see, once we lose, and I'm glad you brought up the fear porn thing, when you know how to look at something, it's not fear porn anymore. It's pure illusion. When you open your eyes, consider the whole universe you are observing as a TV show. That's how serious you need to take it. Seriously, that's it. It's a TV show. You are a starring character in toto genre in full character, in living technicolor flesh form, in a play. And everything that's happening around you is your scene, is your stage. So everything coming at you is from the now. It's from the all creation. I said it a while back. I'll bring it up again because it always needs to be reminded. The all-knowing has to put everything in front of the all-unknowing. Seriously, if you didn't know how to look at something, what would the harm be of being shown everything in truth if you can't see it? If you're so blind and ignorant to look at it for what it really is. And this is what we're doing, is removing this ignorance layer of looking at the literal, and what happens then is when you're looking at, quote, fear porn, unquote, you're turning it into truth porn. You're transmuting it with your intent. You see, when people are aware that when they're staring at things like, rubbernecking an accident or rubbernecking, a false flag or whatever, if they don't know any better as to what they're doing, their energy is just flowing right at it, and it's being utilized. Now, when we're looking at it, it's entirely different. We're looking at it for the illusion that it is. We're not feeding it any energy. We're not creating it because we know it's bullshit. Right? So that energy stops right there. We're not getting siphoned off via ignorance. We put our stops up and go, no. I just want to see in there what clue there is for me to observe on my walk, on my trail, on my role in this stage play.
But has this been going on for all this time?
Yep.
That these entertainers have been doing this stuff, and we just
didn't see it? Absolutely. Sort of takes all of the fear and anger out of it, doesn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your game, guys.
Yeah, it's just shocking that
it's always been there. And here's what happens when we get caught in the fear porn. We get angry at it. Oh, how dare they do chemtrails? And oh, how dare Rihanna have the Eye of Horus on her face? She's Illuminati and they're all evil, and they get all this fucking drama going on. And hey, I know, I've been there. Okay, when in fact it's not that at all. It's neutral. Can you see it? And how are you looking at it? It's the only thing we can do in our free will choice. We can change our intent and our perspective on how we see what we're seeing and how we're going to intend what we want to change. That's it. This is not rocket science. The toughest thing for me, and I know for all of us, is to actually see things for how they really are, not for how they're being presented to us in this literal, stage play. It's reading between the literal lines and seeing what it is. In the one essay there, I talked about D. Thomas Murphy and how he showed the human body allegory in a house, keeping it self-contained. So, the plumbing and the energy and everything is kept right into the one house. And that's exactly how the human body is. And like for example, when you're living in a house, you don't have to always be mindful of keeping all the wires in place because they're already there. They're already built. That's what the DNA program is for the human body. You don't have to worry about growing your toenails. It's going to do it. You don't have to, worry about regenerating cells. Your body's got the program; it's got that. You don't have to worry about heartbeats and cleansing your blood and fighting off viruses and all the rest of it, because your body is built to do that. And what's happened with us is, in our ignorance, we have become so much an effect to the body that we're relying on things outside of us, and that includes things like cannabis and all the rest of it. These external cures that we have. What they are for me are intermediate crutches, bridges, if you will. That until you and when you understand what cannabis, the cannabinoids actually are doing, they're physical, because we've been attacked physically and spiritually, of course. We also have tools within the realm to rebuild that if we don't have the mind over matter quite yet. And to get that mind over matter state, you're gonna have to learn to really trust yourself. And I don't know many people, including myself, that trust myself that much or ourselves that much yet. So it's baby stepping our way back into that responsibility and trust in ourself instead of going external. It's like people that would come and listen to this show, episode, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, this gathering at the table. And of course I'm hosting it, and people will come to listen, and I'm hoping that they're not coming to listen to me, but rather to listen to themselves and to see what I am. I've explained this many times. I am the sum total of all the experiences I've had with all of you. Right? I am co-created as what I am, in as much as you are as well, by all of the individuals and experiences you've had throughout whatever number of lifetimes. It doesn't matter. We are co-creating each other, right? So when people come here, it is my intent and my wish that, and this is where the pedestal thing gets totally obliterated, come here on equal terms with me. I am serving a particular role in what I'm doing, as are all of you. And what you bring to the table matters as much as what I bring to the table. Because what we're doing on this table is we're throwing beautiful banquets of truth. I'll bring some, you'll bring some, it's a potluck. It's, everyone brings something to the table. And that way, and when we bring something to the table, it is inexhaustible now. Everyone can partake of it, and it will never empty. It's like that Guinness joke I told last night that was so bad. The never emptying Guinness glass. And they're even going back to Bruce Lee, when he's talking about the glass of water. Be the form of it, right? Be the glass, be the vessel. And of course, there's always the analogy of that glass half full and half empty. Well, there's no such thing as half full or half empty. Where the duality comes in there as well, is it half full of water, or is it half full of air? Is it half empty of air and half empty of water? You see, we never get so specific in our intent. We just make, by the illusion, we make a lot of assumptions. That's why courts are built on assumption and presumption, because that's an easy one for us to fall into. And the trouble with being innocent is that we're very gullible, we're very naive. The things that we witness and experience here that we wouldn't do, that we would deem to be evil against other parts of our consciousness, that's why we're so easy to manipulate, because we can't fathom that. So one of the hardest things for me to do, I've been through a fair bit, so it wasn't that difficult to confront, because I had confronted it in physical form. But the whole philosophy of, there's Phi Los Sophia philosophy. Yeah, that's what I thought too. In order to catch, and this is an allegory or an analogy, in order to catch a serial killer, you're not going to catch that individual thinking innocently and purely and honestly. You have to delve into the deeper and darker aspects of your imagination. That if I was a serial killer, what would I do? See, and one of the gifts that I was given, being the nature of who I am, and having been in a closet for a lifetime up to this point, I learned how to hide really well. I learned where all the nooks and crannies were. And I learned how to hear when other people are hiding. You see, because when you become an expert at hide and seek, or being a really good hider, being the seeker is just flipping the coin. Because you know where all the good hiding spots are. You know where all the deep crevasses are that you lived in. So this was the gift for me. The nature of my seeking truth and knowledge in the light was because I became such a good, I had a better ability at hiding in the dark and learning how to veil those things. So for me, peeling off veils and stuff and getting into the mindset of somebody else wasn't difficult. You know, that's why, you know, people can come up to me and they can lie to my face, and I can be the best liar on the planet, but it doesn't matter. One, I've already felt them, and two, you're full of shit, because I already know that one. I had to live it. So that was the blessing of the life that I've lived. So these are a lot of things that we have to learn to confront, and they're not easy. They are not easy because, you know, the vast majority of humanity is good, with good intentions. Don't want to make slaves of other people. We're dealing with a very small minority of the beings on this planet controlling the masses. And we've become so easy to manipulate through the ego, especially the program, and being caught in this literal illusion. You know, that's why you have, you know, jarheads out beating people up and tasering pregnant women for, I've got to go move the car. I'm going to toss a tune on, or tell you what, hey, Ninja, can you take the floor and just have a little chit-chat? I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
Okay.
So, who's still with us?
Yeah.
Who have we got? Stola's still here? Lambert, is she still here?
Yeah, still here.
Oh, good. I'm almost falling asleep. Not because it's boring, I'm just tired. So, that's an interesting one, eh? People all over the world, all different time zones, all coming together in one moment of, what's it called again? Oh, yeah. Now?
Ninja, it's Gaylin.
Hi.
What time is? Hi. What time is it there where you are?
3:15.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Mm.
Do you have to get up and go to work?
No.
You don't work? Good for you.
It's 3:15 for everybody on this call except for you, Galen, and Kate.
I'm sorry?
It's 3:15 for everybody else on this call at the moment. We're all in the same time zone.
Oh, I'm in Arizona. It's 6 p.m. 6:15 p.m.
Nice. Oh, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, won't you?
Sorry about that.
No apologies, please. This is how it is. That's just, you know, we're here because we want to be here, and we don't care what time it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Hi, honey, I'm home. We're just talking about time zones and how we're all in different time zones around the world tuning in and all in one moment of now.
Yep.
And how,
I'm in...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm in Arizona. I was saying it's 6:15. And everybody else is in the middle of the night.
I'm 9:17 here. And actually, while I've got you on, Galen, it's Galen, yeah?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, well, how do you say it?
Well, it's just a made-up name, and nobody's ever pronounced it but you, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it.
Galen it is. All right. Your mic is really, really hot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
loud.
no, stop saying sorry.
I'm loud.
Yeah. No, it's not you. It's your mic. You can actually reduce it on Skype. There's a little 5-bar thing called quality information. Just click on that.
I'm on my iPad.
Oh, your iPad? Well, when you put the mouse up over the window, a bar pops up. Remember where you mute?
Yeah.
Okay, go to the far right and you'll see looks like 5 bars. You know, like a phone, low to high, little graph. Just click on that. It'll open up another menu.
Okay, I'm just listening.
Okay, and then just go to microphone, and yours is probably automatically adjusted. What I normally do is I turn off the automatic and set it at half, because the Skype settings are really hot. Like really hot. So that's why when people say sorry, it's not your fault. It's the way Skype designed it. So there you go. Yeah. So where else were you? What else were you guys talking about there?
Oh, that was it. You were quick.
Yeah. Boom, boom. Get in, get out, baby. Yeah. And, we have Joe on the call now as well.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, see? It's already tomorrow down under.
You know, I just noticed my sister Deborah's on the call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I tried to bring her in, and hang on a sec. Yeah, all she has to do is, because she tried calling me a couple of times, and I brought her in, and she was in, and then she left. So all she has all she has to do is rejoin the call to get back in. So I can't drag her back in again. She's already in. So just letting you know.
Okay.
Sorry, just got other little posts coming in here as well. I'm trying to keep up. So don't be afraid to talk, guys. This is wide open table, remember? Okay, fine, I'll talk. Screw it. I don't know what it is. Ninja, am I intimidating in some way?
Oh, I'll take the space if you want it.
Oh, please, go ahead. I'd love to hear. I'm tired of listening.
Kate, you know what the problem is? We have a subject and we talk about that, and you really get into the zone and pull us into the zone, and we're all flabbergasted by what you say. So we're all quiet now.
I got you. No, I do get it. See, there's the curse and the cure at the same time, right? Oh, yeah. Well, let's just say I'm not really downloading right now. The eyes are open. I'm just wanting to see what you guys have to throw on the table so I can go, oh, that's really neat. Can I play? Oh. Don't mind me. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I'll play.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I probably just missed the last 15 minutes, so this, mine up. Well, it won't be out of context because everything is. Okay. Last night I went to a book launch of a lady who it's a fictional book about someone who's insane and the fine line between sane and insane and that journey she goes on. I thought, oh, isn't this interesting? I need to talk to this lady because I did the anagram for my name and insane is in it. And having done many past lives where I went insane and found sanity, a couple of times I don't think I did, but and even in this lifetime, sitting in the Vipassana, I felt like I was going insane, but then I actually realised I was going sane. So it was very relevant, and in speaking to her, she was like, wow, I really would love to research my own past lives. Do you do that? I said, well, it was one of the things I kept as a process for quite a while because it really didn't have a lot of my own subjectivity in there. All I had to do was hold the space, so I was ensuring I wasn't going to influence it. So I just sort of talked a bit about that. But then from there, we went downstairs And we're introduced to this guy, and he says, I'm from this suburb, Goonagari, and I said, oh, you must know Danielle. He says to me, oh, yes, I do. Do you know, I'm doing a private foundation with him. Do you know anything about that? And I said, well, that's what I do as a way of exchanging my value with people. And we went from there, and as I'm sitting there, this other lady says, excuse me, can I just butt in? I said, yeah. She goes, hi, Joe, you don't remember me, do you? I go, oh, okay, I'm not remembering you, I'm not sure. And she said, I did a past life regression with you 20 years ago. And I'm like, okay. And so we all just went from there. There was this massive download of information that came through for the next half hour of connecting at the table like we are now at this level. It was real confirmation of being able to bring to the present moment what I've been asking for.
See, that's one of the things that you bring up there, and what that I really urge people to jump in, because in as much as I'm sharing things that are coming in fast and furious, I'm also seeking the resonation of it with the rest of me. That's why the table is open, because it can't be anything but if you want to find resonation. That's just how it works, as far as I'm concerned anyway. That's why it has to be level. And yeah, and the conversations that we can have around this table, I've said it before, I'll say it again, you are not going to find anything like this anywhere. I know that. I've been looking my whole life. And lo and behold, well, fine, can't find it? Let's build it. Build it and they will come. I got that from the movie, right? So I thought, okay, I can do this. I'm not, well, and you talk about insane too, right? Depending on how you put the word together, if you put a space in there, it means you're in health. And if you don't, it means you're not healthy, right? So that's why insane, the sound, when I say someone, well, you must be insane, they will automatically assume crazy instead of, I was just saying you are in health, right? Just that little pause. But people don't hear that, because we've been so spellbound for so long. All we do is trigger the sounds with the spellings that we've, stared at, rubbernecked, as a result of the exquisite programming of school. And it starts at a very young age. And I talked about that as well with regards to, children that learn to speak before they learn to read and write. And of course, that's the joy of your daughter, Joe, which brings this full circle again. In that, if you're never poisoned with the spells, you are not spellbound. And that's a beautiful, that's a perfect way to be. Here we have typically a 5-year-old going into school or kindergarten or whatever for the first time, and then grade 1 or P1 or whatever the situation is, you have they're learning to read and write. And it's very methodical, and for a reason. What it does is it locks the sounds in with visuals, and we forget. Like when we say the word right, which one am I saying? Am I saying right, or right? So it's always about assumption and presumption. When I say right, people will assume I'm saying that you are correct. I say, no, I'm saying that you are ritualizing. When I say right, it's always R-I-T-E, unless I'm talking about songs, at which point it would be W-R-I-T-E, but it's still the same thing. It's an as-below ritual. W is as below. And of course, W is a vowel. Most people think of it as a consonant. It's not, because when you use the letter, your tongue doesn't touch anywhere, and your lips don't touch. Why? Okay? That's why it's a vowel. In the beginning, it was a vowel. Why? There was no consonants. There was no hard sounds in it. It was completely ether. And here we are, once again, figuring the same shit out. Isn't that great? You think we'd have better things to do with our universes, But hey, as I'd said to, let me see, I've still got to look at the name. I talked about this earlier. Karitzis. That's part of the conversation I had earlier with him. So where was I going? I'd say that's a problem. That was a download, by the way. You can tell, because if I can't remember where I was, it's because it wasn't coming out of my head. Anyway, there we go. Proof of the downloads. What was I just saying? I don't know. Talking about spells and spell binding. Working my way back through. Recall. Doesn't matter. I think I got out what I needed to anyway. But yeah, it's been so finely crafted around us, this whole spelling thing, and those veils are coming down now. Get hooked on phonics. Start listening. Stop assuming what someone's saying. If you hear a word that is a synonym or a homonym, make sure you get them to clarify it. It can probably be annoying for a while, but when you said right, how did you spell that? I wasn't sure if you were meaning I was correct, or if I was writing something, or it was a last name of somebody, or it was a ritual. Which one were you using? And that actually is probably a very effective way of busting programs. Because how many times have people ever been asked to think that way? Because everything has been, from day one of school, assumption and presumption. And the same rules apply with math and everything else. I mean, the history books were written by the victors, not the vanquished, and of course, written with a very deliberate slant on certain things. I gave the example a long time ago about an essay my oldest daughter had to write regarding World War I and Canada's role in World War I. And the question was, how was, and this is how they do this, guys. It's always a pro-war bent in the history books. And the question I asked of her was, how did Canada benefit as a result of World War I? I ended up helping her write the essay because we both had the same idea that, well, how is war good for anyone? So I said, there's where we're going to start. Let's flip this coin over on the school system. I did this with my oldest all the time. I had a couple of teachers didn't really much like me. The principal loved me. Went into his office. The one time I was reprimanding a teacher with a letter based on a book that was about Palestinian kids and Israeli kids and the different stories. I think there was something like 12 or 13 kids from each side telling their version of where they lived and how they saw things. And this teacher had focused on the Israeli kid. About I forget what even the topic was about, but Emily was totally distraught because she knows she knows what's going on there, and it was a very, very pro-Israeli, which of course Zionism and that's that whole illusion that gets played out on a grand scale worldwide is thrust especially in Canada. I mean, Canadian government and U.S. government, doesn't matter, are sickeningly pro-Zion, right? It's because that's who's paying them, and it goes bigger trails than that, but that's just part of it. But I actually challenged the teacher to say, I want the rest of the grade 8 students to be writing essays on the Palestinian kids' viewpoint. And I mentioned that to my daughter, and she came back the next day, because this thing wasn't due for a week or two, or a week, or I think anyway, that due to curriculum they wouldn't have time to cover both sides of the story. So I wrote a very polite letter, and I gave a copy to the teacher, and I gave a copy to the principal. Actually, he was in his office, and I went in and he read it right while I was there. It wasn't long, and he just looked at me and says, "You're a brilliant writer. This is exactly what needs to be said, and I wish I could write like this." And we had a great chat. He opened up completely, and he says, "My hands are tied so much in so many things, and A lot of things I want to say I can't. And I'm so grateful when people like you come in and do this, because the parents, although the kids are owned by system, right? They are. The parents have the perceived power within the schools, and me, I don't care. I remember once the school calling, or I called the school to let them know that Emily, she wasn't feeling well the one day, high school, and she wasn't feeling well the one day, and I said, Emily won't be in today. I just called her to let you guys know. And then the secretary says, well, okay, we'll just make sure she has a note tomorrow. And I said, what do you mean, make sure she has a note tomorrow? Well, we just need to, listen, I'm her parent. She's here with me. You won't be getting a note because I'm telling you right now. Silence. Thank you. Go ahead, ask me if I actually wrote a note. No. Did I hear anything about it? No. Did I ever hear anything again? I'll tell you right now, she could skip off any day she wants, and they'll never call. They don't want to deal with, well, they wouldn't be dealing with me anyway right now, but, once bitten, twice shy. I don't take shit from anybody, especially people trying to control others. That one really, really rubs me the wrong way. That's why I have such an issue with pedestals, because when people do that, one, it's an ego trip, because they want to put somebody up on a pedestal so they can knock them off to feel powerful. That's ego. That is such a standard ego program, and it creates master-slave. It creates a duality. So when people come to this table, you come at the same level. If there are any rules, that's for me the golden rule. I do unto you that which I wish you to do upon me. And I'm wishing upon you complete equality, as I hope that mirror reflects back. And of course it does. This is the joy of this, and what we're doing is we got a bunch of beautifully playful children, all grown up. We have the best of both worlds here. We don't have to get all out of joint. I mean, listen back to the shows. I'm not going to pick on anyone here. I'm just showing, because I'm not picking on anyone. It's ego. It's programmed, right? When I go back to the Saturday night shows, and they were generally shouting matches, and it drove me nuts. Egos drive me crazy. When they go circular, that brings the three-headed dog out every time. Because you want to play ego? I'll play ego with you. I guarantee you my dog's got bigger teeth than yours. Guaranteed. And the only reason I know that is because it used to control me. And it took a fair bit to train that dog, to put it in its cage. But I know the difference now, and I know when to bring it out. And if you ever hear it, you'll know what I'm doing. I'm bringing the dog eat dog world out, where I prefer to leave it in its cage. And if you haven't noticed the serenity of these shows for the last, I don't know. When did Tony leave? Because I was tired of dealing with the back and forth, and there's nothing against Tony. And I really wish people would get this. Oh, and there's been some,
Yeah, Kate, you're breaking up really bad. Can't hear a word. Still look like you're on the board.
Video provided by verdictproductions.com.